Oh, hi, Mark. So, on to the next segment of the horror Blu-ray collection. I am going to start recording reviews here soon. Not tonight, obviously. Tonight wouldn't work very well for me because I'm tired. I am honestly super tired. I just got off of work. My back hurts. I just ate spicy ramen. That was unrelated. I ate some spicy. It was good. It was good spicy ramen. As you may have noticed, you're actually at the same. You're facing the same direction, but you're at a different angle. So you're facing more of an upward angle at me, and well, you can see my headboard in the background. No one cares. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no one cares. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard you the first time. All right, shut up. I get it. I suck. Why do you guys think I don't make YouTube videos very often? I know I suck. Cry on camera. Hang on. Okay. Second segment of the more normal horror Blu-rays. I don't know what I mean by that, normal. I guess generalized is what I actually meant, not normal. Anyway. Critters Attack. I actually own this movie on DVD as well. Which is kind of weird, because this is a really random movie to own on DVD and Blu-ray. I originally found the DVD at a thrift store, and I was like, oh, cool, the new Critters movie. That's cool for $2. Then I found the Blu-ray at the Dollar Tree, so I was like, oh, cool. That's a cool movie for $1. But, see, I'm pretty sure the reason why I was at the Dollar Tree was, well, the slipcover's all messed up. And, well, I guess the regular cover's okay. The slipcover is all messed up. I haven't seen Critters Attack. I haven't seen it. I own the Critters box set. I have seen Critters 1 through 3. I have not seen 4. I have not seen Critters Attack. And I have not seen the TV show. I'll probably never watch the TV show, but I will watch Critters Attack at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. I do like the Critters movies. Cthulhu Mansion. Well, it's kind of a cool Vinegar Syndrome release, you know. That's a sick ass cover art. Yeah, man. That's a really cool cover art. Unfortunately, this movie has absolutely nothing to do with Cthulhu. Really, unless that door in the basement was like, unless Cthulhu lived in there. I don't know. I really don't. This movie was really mediocre, honestly. Unfortunately, I wanted to like it a whole lot more than I did. I didn't hate it by any means, but it's not a movie that I'm going to go back and rewatch like 97 times. Dagon. This is an actual H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, and it's awesome. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Lovecraft adaptations for sure. I don't know why I have trouble saying the word adaptation. I feel like every time I say adaptation, I start going adaptation. Adaptation. What is an adaptation, Malachi? I don't know. Do you? If you know what an adaptation is, let me know in the comments below. Which reminds me, I'm going to feel really gross doing this, but I've heard it helps with the algorithm, or the numbers, or I don't know, something like that. If you're not subscribed already and you enjoy the content, please subscribe. Please ring the bell for notifications. I'm going to try to start posting every single Friday. It's going to be like massively different for me. But I'm going to try. I'm going to actually start recording reviews again. It's going to be a whole a whole thing. It's not really going to be a thing. I'm just going to be releasing YouTube videos on a set day of the week, like pretty much every other YouTuber does, except they do it way more successfully than I do, because they're not as mediocre as me. I say as I use my bedroom lamp for a light to light the video and my phone to record me. Anyway, Day Gone, cool movie. If I could stop insulting myself and talk about the movies. Yeah, I don't know if that's possible. The Dark and the Wicked. I think this is one of the scarier movies of the recent years. When did this come out? 2020? Yeah, it came out in 2020. Myself, I'm not moist over this movie. I'm sorry, I just made like 9 of you click off of this video because I used that word. But fuck you. I'm not moist over The Dark and the Wicked. But I do like it. I like how just nihilistic and dark it is. It is really dark. The Dark and the Wicked. It's a really good title for it. But yeah, it's such a hopeless, bleak movie, which is what I love most about it, because it does, if I remember right, it ends kind of abruptly. But The Dark and the Wicked, if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It is worth your time. Digging Up the Marrow, I think this is an Adam Green movie. My sister got this movie for me for Christmas a couple of years back, and she didn't know this was actually one of the films that I wanted. Which is funny, because I think she just went to the dollar store and bought some movies, you know, because every once in a while the Dollar Tree will sell movies, and they sell obscure movies, so not only are they cheap, which is a definite plus, I'm sure, but I'm less likely to have them. And Digging Up the Marrow was one that I didn't have, and she got this for me as a Christmas present, which was really cool. And this is a neat movie. It definitely has some unique monsters in here. It's not really about the monsters. It's, I don't know. It's about Adam Green doing Adam Green things. Is really what this movie's about. But it's not a bad movie by any means. And I do like it. Dr. Sleep, I actually haven't seen this. I used to be able to say this with honesty. I used to be able to say I'm not huge on The Shining. And, you know, I'm still kind of not huge on The Shining. But in the same breath, I kind of am. Because I've learned to respect it and appreciate it so much more. Like, I watched it recently, and I was just like, that movie is fantastic, actually. The first time I watched it, wasn't huge. Still, I'm not inclined to watch The Shining over and over and over and over and over again. But I do think it's a fantastic movie. So, at the end of the day, I'm not super pumped for Dr. Sleep. Like, I've had this movie for like a year and I still haven't watched it. So it's a thing. It's like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not like clamoring for Dr. Sleep, obviously. Dog Soldiers. This was a pretty neat movie. It's not really... It's not the most rewatchable thing in the world. If I remember correctly, the camera quality, like the actual camera they used to film this movie with, was kind of a crappy quality camera and just wasn't the greatest. On top of the fact that their accents in this film are so thick they become hard to understand. I think they all have British accents. Very thick ones at that, if I remember correctly. Don't, like, roast me in the comments if they're not British, English, whatever you want to fucking say. But anyway, very cool movie anyway, even if the accents are a little hard to understand, because, I mean, they are thick accents. And even if the camera quality is a little shitty. Like, it's got 28 Days Later syndrome. The camera quality is not the greatest. Okay, maybe now the light won't be so intense. I just kind of twisted it back a little bit so it's more aimed at the ceiling than at my face, because for a little bit there it seemed like half of my face looked like the sweet light of Jesus was shining upon it. So anyway, Reanimator and The Hills Have Eyes. Okay, so I remember getting this movie. It was like October when I got this movie. I think I was in high school, and I convinced my mom to buy this double feature for me on Amazon, which she wasn't big on letting me watch like horror and R-rated movies when I was in high school. Especially when I got this, I think I was like probably 16. I think I was probably 16. But anyway, she ended up buying it for me, and I was super psyched because I had never seen either of these movies. And so I'll just tell you how I feel about them. Reanimator, I think, is a really good movie. I think it might be... I was going to say it might be a tad overrated, but I don't think that's really fair to call it overrated. Let's just say that I'm not as huge on it as I think everyone else is. It would have been unfair to call it overrated, but I am not as big on it. It's just not as rewatchable to me. I do enjoy it. I mean, Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West in this movie, just awesome performance there. Barbara Crampton, absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. If you know me, if you ever get to know me through this channel, you will come to know I have the world's... I was going to say that in a really crude way. All right, I'm still going to. Largest erection for Barbara Crampton. And it doesn't matter if it's 1980s Barbara Crampton or 2021 Barbara Crampton. It really doesn't. I am indiscriminate. All right? Barbara Crampton has been beautiful from her time on Reanimator all the way to... What was the last movie I saw her in? I think it was Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich, which came out in, I think, 2018. She was still smoking hot in that movie. I mean, she's been in a few movies recently. A little less recently. She was in that movie... What's it called? Tell me what it's called, damn it. Beyond the Gates. That's the one. I knew it started with a B. I just forgot what it was. But Beyond the Gates. I mean, she was fine as shit in that one, too. But, yeah. Reanimator. Really cool movie. My favorite scene in this... Well, let's say my favorite line in this movie is when this guy right here is threatening to expose Herbert West. And he's like, who's going to believe you? You're a talking head. Get a job at a sideshow. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember, but it's good. I've only seen this movie a few times. But then there's The Hills Have Eyes, which I actually dig this movie more than I probably should. Because the thing about The Hills Have Eyes is... I don't know that it aged terrifically well, but I still love the grittiness. And that's... Because that's something that modern movies can't really replicate, is this... It happened a lot in the 1970s for some reason. This 1970s grit that movies had. Movies like The Hills Have Eyes, movies like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it was just this distinct feeling of realism. And that is the thing I love most about The Hills Have Eyes. And of course, Michael Berryman's awesome. Yeah, he's just creepy as shit in this movie. Yeah. Great shit. Great shit. Alright, before I say great shit 3 more times, let's move on. Oh my god, The Editor. The Editor. Have you ever seen The Editor? And if you haven't, I should slap you Imagine that. A man slapping a man. Paraphrasing part in this movie, which I love that scene, by the way. They're at a dinner table, right? And what's her name? I'm sorry. I get Paz de la Huerta. Paz de la Huerta is like talking back to this guy, and Paz de la Huerta is the main character's wife or girlfriend or something. And she was talking back to him, or the other guy in the situation. The other guy in the situation is like a detective. And the detective slaps her across the face. And he turns to the main character, the editor, and he's like, you need to get your woman in check. Otherwise, I may have to slap you next time. Imagine that. A man slapping a man. I loved it. I'm sorry, that scene is amazing. This movie works as both, mostly as like a parody of Giallo, but then it has gory kills. It makes little to no sense, but it's great. It is fantastic, and I'm just gonna keep having to dip that way because I'm putting movies back as I go along, which is why I'm sitting here again, because my Blu-rays are right there, and I didn't really have to like move them far. So anyway, I'm lazy. Evil Dead. This is the extended cut, the unrated version. The unrated version of Evil Dead, I would say it's worth watching the unrated version over the original version of Evil Dead. This is the 2013 remake, by the way, for those of you who are uninitiated, who don't know Evil Dead very well. This is the 2013 reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. But I would say that the unrated version is worth having and worth watching over the rated version. It's just got a little more Evil Dead in there, and I would say this is actually one of my favorite horror films. So it's worth it. If you're gonna give me a little more of one of my favorites, then I'll take that, even if they're not like the greatest scenes. I will say though, I was a little let down by the "We're Gonna Get You" part, which was in all the trailers. It didn't match anywhere near the "We're Gonna Get You" part in the original Evil Dead, which to me by far was the most horrifying part in that movie. Was when what's her name, Cheryl, she's like sitting crisscross applesauce in that doorway, and she's like, "We're gonna get you, time to go to sleep, not another peep." And she's just by far the most unsettling thing in that movie. Gave child me nightmares. Not really. Very few horror films have actually given me nightmares. They have made me paranoid, and that was definitely one of them. But Evil Dead 2, I've said it a million times. I don't know if I've said it a million times on here, but I have said it a million times in my personal life. Evil Dead 2 is a horror masterpiece. It is the most perfect horror comedy that has ever been made. It has the perfect balance of comedy and horror. The frantic direction of Sam Raimi helps with both the comedy and the horror, which is something that's really odd. Like at times his work with the camera makes it scary, and at times it makes it funny. That it just doesn't happen very often. That's what I was trying to say. That's something that doesn't happen very often. It's either this is completely silly or this is scary. This movie is a little bit of both. Mostly it's silly. This is a mostly silly film. And of course, Bruce Campbell is amazing in this movie. Yeah. This is another one of my favorite horror films, Evil Dead 2. Just fantastic. And actually, that made me kind of want to watch Evil Dead 2. I should review Evil Dead 2 here soon. I should. Alright, Fright Night 2. This is not the original Fright Night 2, which it's weird to me because it's like for months at a time I just forget that Fright Night 2, like the original, exists, and then I remember and I'm like, oh yeah, I should buy that movie one day, and then I just never do. But I do own Fright Night 2 the remake. Oddly enough, don't own the Fright Night remake, just Fright Night 2, which is just another Fright Night remake to my knowledge. But a gender bending Fright Night remake, which is stupid as hell in my opinion. I mean, I guess if you want to do it, go ahead, but that's so fucking dumb. Like, oh, what would happen if Jerry from Fright Night was a girl? What would happen, guys? What do you think would happen? Probably the same fucking shit that happened in Fright Night. It just wouldn't be a guy. And I swear to God, if that's what this movie is, I'm going to slam my head in a car door. Alright, I don't swear to God, because I wouldn't slam my head in a car door. Not unless this movie's really bad. Which I'm kind of so I might do it anyway. I'm kind of anticipating it is. I've had that movie for a long time. That's just another one of the ones that I've had and have never had the desire to watch. The Gallows. Speaking of never having desire to watch something, I don't think this movie is as bad as people say it is. I don't. And now all of you that didn't click off when I said the word moist, now you're clicking off. Now you're escaping. Because if anyone defends the Gallows, they must be an idiot. Which I am a bit of an idiot, so it fits. But the Gallows is meh. I mean, I don't deny that the Gallows is an incredibly mediocre horror film. That it is incredibly stereotypical. And that's not great, and it's not acted well. It has a good setting. I like the school setting. It has a decent story behind it. The twist in the end's kind of stupid. But you know what? I don't hate the Gallows. Call me crazy. I don't hate it, which is why I own it. If I truly hate a film, I will get rid of it. But yeah, I don't hate the Gallows. Good Neighbors, I've never seen it. It doesn't look particularly interesting to me, if I'm being entirely honest. So, there's that. The Green Inferno. This is a pretty good movie. Again, it's not incredibly rewatchable because, well, it's the Green Inferno. Most Eli Roth movies aren't really rewatchable. You know what? I'll rewatch Cabin Fever a ton, though. That is a great movie. And if you say otherwise, that's fine. You can have your opinion. You just be wrong. It's okay. It's okay to have wrong opinions. But The Green Inferno is just, it's another one of those Hostel-like movies where it's just trying to be mean and vicious for the sake of being mean and vicious and shocking. It's definitely trying to shock you, and it does its job. And it also kind of makes you laugh in a couple of scenes. Mostly, I think the laughs mostly come from the fact that just how awful our main cast is. They are just full of douchey college kids. You know, the main character's whole shtick is that, I think it's the main character anyway, she joined this activist group because there was a guy in the activist group that she wanted to fuck. And she's going to the Amazon rainforest with an activist group to chain herself to trees in a dangerous environment, and because she wanted to fuck a guy. That's, yeah, high class people in that movie all around. The Grudge. Speaking of movies that I'm going to defend that people absolutely hate, I don't think The Grudge is anywhere near as bad as people say it is. I really don't. Um, there is some shit in this movie that's unfortunate. Towards the beginning of the movie, I actually find some of the acting pretty cringy. I don't know what it is, but our main, the female officer, the female detective that the movie revolves around, in the beginning of the film, I think her performance is horrible. Like when the movie starts, I'm like, oh god, are we following her this whole time? And we do, but somehow she got better. Like maybe she found out or saw that she was doing poorly, and so she stepped her game up. But yeah, I mean, realistically, mostly all around, I'd say the acting was good in this movie. Uh, the, I mean, granted, performances weren't fantastic, but they were good. And I'd say there were some very solid, creepy parts in The Grudge. This is a really dark movie, which is something that I enjoy. Um, in my opinion, The Grudge 2020 or 2021, I don't remember what year this movie was made. 2020? That seems right. 2020. The Grudge 2020 is a lot like a condensed hour-and-a-half version of the Netflix series Ju-On Origins. Don't get me wrong, Ju-On Origins is better by leaps and bounds, but it gives me the same general feeling. It's jumping around in time. It's not necessarily like the same Grudge ghosts that we're used to, and it's jumping around in time and that sort of thing. It gives me very similar feelings to Ju-On Origins, but I think it's okay. I really do. I don't think this is a horrendous movie, like a lot of people seem to. Okay. On to the next one. My throat is starting to get sore. I don't know why, but it's starting to get sore. And it's pissing me off. Damn. But the fridge is so far. Like, I feel like I need something to drink. Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't really even have anything in the fridge. Shit. Damn. Anyway, I don't know how to say that title correctly. Hacksin? Hacksin? A hookadak? I don't know. I guarantee I'm not pronouncing it correctly, however I pronounce it. Just Hacksin. It's a silent film from 1922. Yes, 1922. It's long as hell. It's not really that much of a horror movie, which really sucks. I was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. But it's really strange. If I remember correctly, it's just... It's like a comparison to witchcraft of the 16th century to mental illness of the 20th century. So, do with that what you will, I guess. But it's interesting, I suppose. I probably won't watch this movie for another, like, decade, and then I'll pull it off of my shelf, and I'll see a layer of dust on it, as thick as, like, that low-grade American cheese that you buy in the grocery store, just sitting on top of the case, and I'll wipe off the dust, and I'll look at my finger. Actually, it has some dust on it now. And I'll look at my finger, and I'll go, I shall watch this movie tonight. And I'll put it in, and I'll watch 20 minutes of it, and then I'll be like, oh, so this is why it took me 5 years to rewatch this. This isn't real exciting. Then I'll regret my decisions immediately, but I'll stick it out throughout the rest of the movie, damn it. Because that's just what you do. That's what I do. I don't like partially watching movies. By the way, if you just heard my hand slap on my knee, that would be because I'm not wearing pants. Because why would I be? Why would I be wearing pants right now? I don't have to be wearing pants. What are you, the pants police? Huh? You the fucking pants police? You can't tell me what I have to wear in my own house. You just better be lucky that you don't have to look at it. Anyway, the houses that October built. This is a decent movie. You know, it's found footage. It's fun. It's not really a movie that I rewatch a ton, which is a theme in this video I have found. But it is fun. I feel like my appreciation has waned over time because I remember when I first saw this movie, I was really big on it, but not so much anymore. The Hunt. This is an awesome movie. This movie got delayed like 9,000 times, and I finally watched it really recently. I watched it originally on HBO Max, and I loved it so much that I had to have a copy. And, yep, still love it. By the way, what is she on? I saw her in something recently, and I was like, oh, that's probably what I... Is she in the Grudge 2021, or 2020? Is she? I feel like she's the Asian guy's wife. I feel like she's the pregnant chick in the Grudge. Yeah, I think so. She's better in this movie, definitely. She is a badass in this movie. And yeah, I appreciate the hell out of it. It makes fun of silly politics and just all around great shit. It's funny too because it has like political stereotypes in the movie, and you point at characters and you're like, I know someone like that, I know someone like that, I know someone like that, and I know someone like that. And I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's pretty funny too. It's barely a horror movie, but I don't know. I have it in the horror section because why not? In the Mouth of Madness. I've actually never seen this. I have had it for a while, and it's weird that I've never seen it. This is actually one that I was really wanting to see, and then I ordered it, and I bought it, and I got it in, and I just haven't watched it. Which, again, is mad weird to me. But, yeah, In the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter. I will be watching that at some point in the near future. I Spit on Your Grave 2. Yes, I own this movie. Kind of unfortunately. Do I own the first one of the remake? No. I own I Spit on Your Grave 3 over there, which that is actually a better movie than this. This is probably the most brutal of the ones I've seen. I haven't seen Deja Vu because it got super bad reviews, and so I didn't bother. I did start watching it, and I was like, do I really want to watch a 2-hour movie, or like 2.5-hour movie that's rated this badly right now? And the answer was no, so I just didn't watch it. But I Spit on Your Grave 2. This is probably the most brutal of the franchise. It's the most brutal of the I Spit on Your Grave movies that I have seen. Yeah, this is a messed up movie. But I mean, this is just one of those movies, like, now it's hard to make me feel this way, but this movie would still make me feel this way if I were to go back and actually rewatch this movie. It would make me feel like I need a shower immediately. But, yeah, that's I Spit on Your Grave too. Just grody ass movie. Incident in a Ghostland. So firstly, I love this movie, but this is actually a Region B Blu-ray, which is utterly awful. I knew it was a Region B when I bought it, but the thing was, I thought my player was region free. How poorly that turned out to be, because it wasn't. Because I had the Madman Blu-ray from Arrow, Madman Blu-ray says it's Region B. Apparently it's not, but like every Blu-ray player that I've ever put that Madman Blu-ray in, it played all the way through, no issue. So I ordered this, didn't think there'd be an issue. There was an issue. And this will not play on my player. I'm keeping it around because I do want to get a region-free player at some point. It's just a matter of I'm broke as all living shit. So at some point I do want to get a region-free player so I don't even have to worry about regions anymore. But Incident in a Ghostland, this is a phenomenal movie from Pascal Lafayette, the same guy that did Martyrs. Super brutal, not quite as brutal as Martyrs, but Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this is pretty much a perfect movie. I mean, it really is. It can be a little slow at times. There is something about the audio in this movie that I'm not huge on, but I can't really fault this movie for it because it's in so many movies, and that's just when the characters speak. It is the quietest thing you have ever heard in your life, and you can barely understand what they're saying. And then when they scream, or when one of these things starts screeching or something loud is happening, it blows your speakers up. I hate that. But Invasion of the Body Snatchers, really, really good movie. That is the one from 1978, not the one from 1956. But nonetheless, great movie. I don't even own the 1956 one, which is odd. It, from 2017. I don't own the original on Blu-ray. I should. I'm going to buy it eventually, but I do own it. Just not on Blu-ray. I own it on DVD. But anyway. This is my favorite horror film as of now. I'm sorry, that's such a fucking, like, that is so incredibly cliche. Like, oh yeah, what's your favorite horror movie? Oh, It. When people say, this is gonna make me sound douchey. That's okay, because I'm a bit of a douchebag, but when people say things like if I ask you your favorite horror movie and you tell me like, oh yeah, I like The Conjuring, that makes me think you haven't seen very many horror movies. And I feel like that's the same thing with It. It's just, it makes you think, like, has this guy seen movies? Does this guy actually watch movies? Or does he just, is he just watch one every once in a while? Like, have you seen more than 4? You know, but I don't know, man. It does it for me. It Chapter 2, not as much. I do like it a lot. But I don't think it's as good as the first one. I've actually been holding out on watching it again. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend, because I actually have a free weekend. I don't have any plans. And so it's a solid possibility that I'll make a double feature of it and watch It 1 and 2. Because that's what I've been holding out for, too, is I want enough time to watch It and then It Chapter 2, just one after the other. Which is why I actually haven't seen either of them in a while. So, yeah. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the part 2 of my Blu-ray collection. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, if you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you haven't rung the bell, ring that little motherfucker. Please. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. That's hopefully maybe a review. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.